A very good morning to you and welcome. If you're new here, my name is Jen. These puppies are Sammy, the black one, and Thisbe up top. It's about 9 o'clock on a Sunday morning, and we're just here enjoying the sunlight streaming in through the living room windows. Now, this channel is all about, well, predominantly about the comforts of home, the joys of home, creating a beautiful home and a beautiful life within it. So today's topic is making some changes that can elevate the look and feel of your home by doing very simple and inexpensive things. And some of the examples I'm going to show you, most of them are actually in my bedroom. I am going to show you how I completely did that room to make it look lighter, brighter, more cheerful, and really to reflect my own personality and the things that I like to be surrounded by and the things that I love and enjoy. These are very simple things. They're very inexpensive things. And most of them are renter friendly as well. So if you're living in a rented space and you really want to make it more unique, these things can be easily removed or swapped back to the original fixtures when you first moved in. But before we get started, to put it in context, I am going to show you a couple of photos of what the bedroom looked like before. So you can see the very dark color on the walls, the unpainted closet doors and trim. And the windows were covered with very thick curtains, letting in very little natural light. And here is what it looks like now. Now, the door. It's weird that there's a door in here, but a little explanation as to why there's a door in my bedroom. This is the original part of the house. It was built in 1910, and this was their living room or sitting room. So this is the original front door to the house. Now, the living room that I just showed you was added on many, many years later. And that's when they turned this into a bedroom and built in these this wardrobe or closets. My big dream down the line is to convert this into a big window with a built-in window seat and have cushions there and kind of create a little reading nook. And that will also invite a lot more light in. So big dreams, one day. But this I didn't have a complete idea in my head of how I wanted this to end up looking. All I really wanted to do at first was to lighten it up. I wanted to just change the color from that very dark purplish bluish gray color. I don't even know what that is. Which, side note, I met the previous owner of the house, very, very lovely woman, and she told me that after she painted it, she was actually going for a light gray, and when she realized it was so dark, she hated it. But her husband said, "We're not repainting it. That was too much of a hassle." So it was left. But the other thing that you'll notice is they had very heavy curtains over this window and a heavy curtain over this door. They actually had this little window here boarded up. And I believe that is because of the light, the amount of light that comes in from these, if you can see them here, these antique street lamps. Which I love. That's one of the first things I noticed when I first bought that, or first saw the house. I love them, but they're on an automatic timer. You cannot just flip them off at night. So I believe they did that to minimize the amount of light coming in at night. My solution to that is I have daytime curtains on one side and I have blackout curtains on the other side. So that works pretty well at night for the street lamps. And then I just, for this, if it comes in through there, I just got a little sleep mask. I would much rather do that than to block the natural light that comes in because, first of all, I need natural light. If a room or a house feels too dark, I will start to get a little gloomy. I feel a bit depressed. So I like to have the natural light coming in. So I do actually keep this door open most of the day, except in the winter when it gets really cold. But during the warmer months, in the daytime, that door is almost always open. But before I open it now, what I'm going to do is show you one of the other changes that I made here. I swapped out the old, just plain looking outlet plate, switch plate, for this really decorative one. And I have another one that matches over here on this side of the room. This is really pretty. But you can see that these outlets are on the opposite side of the room that the bedside table is. So in order to have a bedside lamp when I first moved in, I had to run an extension cord and it drooped down through across the door to have a lamp there for reading. I experimented with running it up along the top and that just looked hideous. So one of the things that I found were these lamps, and they do not require hard wiring. They're battery operated and they're controlled by this little remote. Now these are brilliant. This is an absolutely brilliant solution, particularly for old houses when your outlets may be limited or in wonky places, like high up on the wall in the opposite direction of where you need them to be. And I found these online. This was about $40 for a set of two. And the great thing about these, aside from, not needing any hard wiring or anything, is that they just have this rechargeable cell here. And the batteries last about 6 weeks. I only need to recharge it once every 6 weeks. And that is great. I read a lot before bed. I typically will spend anywhere from 30 minutes to a whole hour reading before I go to bed every single night. And I only need to charge these once every 6 weeks. But one of the great things that I really like about it is that you can change the brightness. You can dim it, make it brighter. You can change them from warm light. I have it on warm light now because I'm just a warm light person. You can change it to cool. You can change it to a combination of the two. It has also some kind of funky designs, like you can change the color. You can pulse the light, which I don't know why anyone would want that. But that's a great fix for a solution like that. They do each come with a remote, but one remote does control both. So just easy to have on the nightstand. All right. So now I'm going to open up this door and just let a little bit more light in. So here, after I had painted the walls and lightened those up, got some light coming in, I removed the board that was up here to block the light. I initially thought they had this boarded up because the glass was broken. Thankfully not. And I do need to paint this. I need to badly paint this. Anyway, so once I got the color lightened up, the doors and the trim were still the natural wood color. And I lived with that for a while because I really didn't have any intention of painting them. But after a while, I thought, no, that kind of looks a bit dingy. So I decided to paint the trim and these doors a high gloss white. And I did that because this room gets very little natural light and I wanted it to reflect the light coming in from the window, which you can see here, it does bounce off. So that does make it feel a bit brighter. The finish on the walls is an eggshell, so that does reflect a little bit of light as well. So once I got that done, the walls were light. The cabinets were a very bright white. And it felt a little too clinical. I kind of felt like I was in a doctor's waiting room. And I felt like it needed some more color for sure and some personality. And I thought to myself, well, if I had any artistic talent, which unfortunately I don't, I would draw something on these doors, like, or paint some flowers or birds or something. Which got me thinking, I wonder if there's a set of stencils or something that I could use that would help me achieve that look. So I looked online and I discovered these, which are just decals. They are peel and stick decals. And I got two sets, one of the birds and one of the butterflies, which were about $12 each. And I was really happy with that. Now, these are some good renter-friendly options because they're just peel and stick. And I have moved them. And I actually had to move them around a bit to kind of get it to where I wanted, and they did not peel off the paint. So this would definitely be a good renter-friendly option if you're interested in bringing something like this into your home. Now, once that was done, I was just wandering around my local hardware store. I was looking for something else, actually, and I found these little knobs. And I thought, oh my gosh, that is so cute. And I just had to have them. I thought they would look really good with the new paint and the decals and give it kind of that whimsical look. And these were $3 each at my local hardware store. And I thought that really made it come alive too. And the last thing I did to complete this project was I was originally going to swap out the hardware, these old hinges, but I couldn't find anything that worked just because of the way that these are hung. So I spray painted them. I bought some paint. It was called Heirloom White. And I just spray painted the hinges. And now you can see where it's worn away at the hinge where it opens and closes. And I thought, well, that's actually okay. That doesn't bother me because I think it gives it more of an antique look to it anyway. So I was actually quite happy with how that turned out. And here is what I used for the hinges on the closet, Heirloom White. and this cost about $10. Just a little side note on paint, just paint in general. Um, your typical run-of-the-mill, ordinary brand of paint will often include volatile organic compounds, or VOCs. And if you have little ones, like I do, you want to be mindful that that can cause health effects. It's very terrible to breathe in. So I would suggest looking for a low or zero VOC paint brand. I believe the brand Behr, Behr, their paints do come at a low or zero VOC. Otherwise, you can just ask someone at your local hardware store. You could find them usually big box stores like Lowe's or Home Depot, or if you're in the Midwest, Menards will carry a line of low or zero VOC paints. With the spray paint that I used, I could not find anything of that nature, so I just took it outside. And I let the hinges here that I spray painted, I let those dry in the shed for several days before I brought them back inside. So hopefully minimizing their exposure to the VOCs. So now the whole room is lighter, brighter. It feels different. It feels inviting. Just by giving it a new coat of paint, switching out a few things, and just adding some really easy to install decorations. I did the same thing in my office. I swapped out this black, it was solid black, it was kind of dirty looking, switch plate for this really pretty decorative one that I think goes well with the color of the walls. I had a few bits left over from those decals, so I used them to decorate the bookshelf in the living room. Just peel and stick. And I put a few of them up in the bathroom too. Now this bathroom is definitely getting a refresh, but that'll probably be my August or September project. It is August now, so probably in the later part of the autumn I will start on this. Stay tuned for the big reveal. I liked those little doorknobs in the for the closets in the bedroom enough that I bought some more for the cabinets in the laundry area. Another inexpensive upgrade is just to get some shelf liner, and this cost me about $5 per roll, and you can see the difference it makes. So paint is going to be probably the best tool in your toolkit. Now it can be expensive. Where I live, a gallon of paint costs anywhere between $30 to $50, and that's for the lower end. If you want to go higher, I mean, it can get upwards of $100 per gallon, but still doable. And another simple thing that you could do just using a can of spray paint is just change the color of something that you may already have, or if you find something you really like but you don't particularly like the color, you can just get a cheap can of spray paint, and that really makes a change. So here's an example. I bought these two plant stands, and they were both black. They were both sort of iron metal black color. And I don't particularly like black. I wanted something more eye-catching and bright. So I just got a can of spray paint, and I'll take this off so you can see the pattern. And I think that really makes it pop, especially with that pattern on top. And I thought that goes quite well against the color of the garden shed. So I'll do this other one as well. I'll probably paint that a different color. But never underestimate the power of paint. And I'll show you another example of that is the garden shed itself. Here's what it looks like now. And I'll show you a photo of what it looked like before. This is what I used for the plant stand, bright teal. This cost me about $6. Now, I have a question for you. I'm going to open this up for discussion. My lovely little community here. This set of patio furniture, should I go with the teal? Focus. Should I do a different color? Maybe use that antique white or heirloom white? Should I leave it? What do you think? Let me know in the comments. And the garage is another example of how much of a difference a coat of paint can make. Let me show you what it looked like before. So there you have it. And thanks for joining us today. I hope you got some inspiration, some ideas for things that you can implement in your own home to give it a bit of whimsy or character or bring in some unique, quirky personality. And, just have fun. Have fun with it. It's your living space. It's your sacred area. It's where you go to retreat from the world. So really make it special. And let me know in the comments, is there anything that you've done, any techniques you've used or products or things that you've brought into your home that have given it a little bit of, quirky personality? I'd love to hear some of the things that you've done in your own home. So please feel free to share those. And thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.